Hello there. This 10-day trend brings us to the end of May, also to the end of meteorological spring. And after a very dry season, a change is on its way. But for tomorrow afternoon, many aren't going to really see much change at all. It's still going to be largely dry, still lots of sunshine around, particularly across Scotland, northern parts of England. Eventually, we'll see some more blue skies across central areas once this area of cloud sinks southwards. But that means it will gradually turn cloudier through the course of the day across the south, perhaps thick enough to produce the odd shower. But the main risk of showers is going to be across northeastern areas, particularly across the northeast of Scotland, where we could see the odd shower or two. And quite breezy here, that's going to add on to the chill. But for most areas, it is going to feel that little bit cooler, perhaps 4 to 5 degrees cooler in some parts if you compare it to this afternoon. Then after that, we start to see a change. And in order to describe this change, I thought we'd take a look at the bigger picture. And actually going to start off by sweeping over, taking a look at areas across the US. where we've seen some very heavy showers and thunderstorms, all being fueled by areas of low pressure. And what we'll see is these areas of low pressure just to the east of the US, well, they'll be swept up by our jet stream. A little bit weaker this time of year, but still enough fuel to power some areas of low pressure as they push their way eastwards across the Atlantic. And we'll start to see this on Saturday, an area of low pressure just to the east of Iceland, dragging in some frontal systems. So quite a wet day on offer as we head into Saturday. Then it's all eyes on this area of low pressure here, being swept up once again by the jet stream, moving into what we call the left jet exit of that jet stream. And it sits to the north of the country, once again dragging in some unsettled weather, but also notice a fair few isobars on that chart too, so bringing in some quite windy weather at times as well. Though there are some model differences at exactly how deep this area of low pressure is going to be and its exact location as well. And at the moment, to be honest, the preferred solution is that this area of low pressure will be slightly situated further north. So yes, it's going to bring in some breezy weather, particularly across the northwest, also some wet weather, but it might not perhaps be quite a deep area of low pressure as these graphics might suggest. Nevertheless, once that moves through, we still remain in this westerly type, so it's still a chance of some rain moving in from the west. It's likely Monday for the bank holiday. It'll be a mix of sunny spells and showers, but still plenty of isobars on that chart, so still quite breezy. And also, once again, just keeping an eye on this feature to the west, which may bring some longer spells of rain. But once again, something we need to keep an eye on, still fairly low confidence at this stage. But as we move forward, as we take a look at our zonal trend, well, it's still very blue, and that's indication of a westerly flow of air. So there's still that chance, even over the next couple of weeks, that we'll see that westerly flow of air dragging in frontal systems at times. And we'll begin to see this on Friday. Now, once again, many areas are going to be largely dry. Much of England, Wales, Scotland, still plenty of sunshine, still the risk of the odd shower across the very far northeast of Scotland. But it's really Northern Ireland, the far west of Scotland, where we'll begin to see that change. More cloud pushing in here, outbreaks of rain, eventually later turning a little bit heavier. But notice those temperatures, particularly across central and southern parts, a degree or two up compared to Thursday. So still feeling warm in the sunshine, despite it being a little bit breezier, but still along those eastern coasts, that bit chillier here. Then after this, once again, low pressure taking hold, this area of low pressure, which I noticed earlier, just to the east of Iceland, once again dragging in some frontal systems, moving their way eastwards through on Wednesday. So a very damp start for most, if not quite cloudy across Saturday morning. Most areas are going to see some rain at some point, and it may even be heavy at times, particularly across the west, and it's going to be a much breezier day too. So a very different feel to the day for the beginning of the weekend, but notice temperatures still aren't super low. Highs are reaching around 20 to 21 degrees Celsius across central and southern parts, but it's certainly going to feel a lot differently compared to the last week or so. Then after that, still more rain to come. As I mentioned earlier, we still just need to keep an eye on the exact location of this area of low pressure, but nevertheless it does drag in another cold front, so more cloud, also more rain. Still plenty of isobars on that chart too, so still feeling very breezy even as we reach into Sunday. So once again, there is still some more wet weather on the cards, particularly this time across the far north and northwest of Scotland, turning heavy at times here, turning quite windy, a chance we could see some coastal gales, but The exact location of where those will be will depend on whereabouts the area of low pressure lies. But it's not going to be a total washout. There's still going to be some dry weather, particularly across central and southern parts. Yes, it's still going to be a little bit breezy, but it should be mostly dry and temperatures still in the high teens, low 20s, so still feeling pleasant in sheltered spots. Then eventually we say goodbye to that area of low pressure across the far north, but notice still lots of ice bars, so it's still going to be breezy on Monday. As I've mentioned, it's likely to be a day of sunshine and showers, perhaps some longer spells of rain, but that's still something to watch. But most of the rainfall, particularly from Friday to Sunday, as we can see from our Met Office model here, where we see those reds and orange colours here across the northwest, that's where we're likely to see most of the rainfall. So over the next few days, around 50 to 60 millimetres of rain possible, and that's also agreed by across our European model and also our American model. So yes, there is more rain to come. A little bit disappointing, I suppose, for the bank holiday weekend, but it is long overdue. It's been a very dry spring indeed. So overall, for the bank holiday weekend, it is going to be changeable and unsettled at times, but the wettest of the weather across the northwest. Feeling a bit cooler here, but it's still mostly warm across the east, where we're most likely to still see some brighter, if not quite sunny, interludes. Then how about after that? Well, the next 2 weeks, taking a look at our pressure trend, well, it's quite mixed. We see a range of colours from blues to greens to reds, all indicating whether we'll see high pressure, so the red colours, or low pressure, which are the blue colours. So this indicates it is still going to be quite changeable. It's likely into next week we'll still see some frontal systems moving in off that westerly flow, but at times we'll also see ridges of high pressure. So we'll see a mix of rain, but also some drier and brighter interludes, but still fairly low confidence as to whenabouts that rain will be and whereabouts it will occur. And if we take a look at our probability plot, we can see actually areas of low pressure, so indicated by the blue colours, as we head further into the end of May and through into the beginning of June, well, the chances do eventually decrease, and we see more of these reds and these yellows and these orange colours as we head towards the end of May and into the beginning of June. So an indication that high pressure will eventually build back through, but a chance that might not really be until the middle part of June, but still very early to say. Overall, though, into next week, it's likely that we'll see a pattern similar to this. So high pressure just about building back in across the south, so giving some drier and brighter interludes, but still a chance of some wet weather moving its way in through the west and northwest. But of course, for more updates on that, you can subscribe to our YouTube channel where we'll update you daily, or we also have our Weather Studio live at 12:15 on YouTube every Friday.